everyone! Today I am doing my top books of 2015. Woo! Can't believe 2015 is over already. New Year's Eve is literally tomorrow. So what is life, right? So I read 50 books this year, and I set my reading goal on Goodreads for 40 books, and I read 50, so I'm really happy about that. I was able to read 10 books over my goal. Of those 50, I picked 6 that were my favorite of the year. So I wasn't going to do like 10 or anything like that because that's a good chunk of the books that I read, and honestly, a lot of the books I read just weren't that good. I got rid of a lot, and I gave a lot 3 and under stars, but all 6 of these got 5 stars, and they are definitely the best books I read this year. So starting with number 6, and that is A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall. While I was reading this, it was interesting. I wasn't going to give it a 5 stars. It's like this love story between 2 people, and it's told in 14 different perspectives, none of which are those 2 people. Like there's the bus driver, a teacher, a bench, a squirrel. It's very interesting, but I was kind of like, this is weird. I don't particularly like this. But like, the more I thought about it after I read it, the more I really, really liked it, and that's why it ended up on this list. It is something different, you know, like having a book about 2 people, but neither of them being the narrator or even like an omniscient narrator. Like, it's other people, first person narrating. It's so cool. It's a very interesting story to see them fall in love from other people's point of view. So that's why this book made it on my list as number 6. The next book on my list is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, which, as you guys know, I just finished this in the last like 2 weeks, and it definitely made my list. This book was so good, and I'm including Crown of Midnight because I also just read that book and I gave that one 5 stars as well, but it's a series, so you know the first one's good enough. Is I'll Give You the Sun by Jenny Nelson. I read this book in I'm pretty sure one sitting. It's about twins, a boy and a girl, and it's told from dual perspectives, except for each of them in their own perspectives is in different time periods. So the boy narrates when they were young and the girl narrates when they were older. I think it might be flip-flopped. But this really just tugged on my heartstrings. I cried. I really enjoyed this. The writing was just gorgeous, and I really liked this book a lot. Obviously, that's why it's on this list. This next book is one of the very first books I read this year, and it has stuck with me since then, and that is The Sea of Tranquility by Katja Millay. This book is just breathtaking. It's about these 2 teenagers who meet just after some really bad things happened to both of them separately, and you don't even find out what really happened, especially to the girl, until the end. And I got all these tabs about things that were just beautiful. Their relationship is so relatable. Oh, it's such a good book. If you haven't read this, if you haven't heard of it, please pick it up. I'm about to reread it because it's been a year, and now I really need it in my life again. Number 2 should come as no surprise to anybody who's watched my last couple of videos because I can't stop talking about it, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This is the fictional world created in Fangirl about Simon and Baz, and oh my god, like I said before, didn't realize how much I was so into these characters in the story until the last like 50 pages, and I was like on the edge of my seat freaking out about what was going to happen to them. And that's something that's good, like something that builds up so subtly you don't even realize it's happening. And Rainbow Rowell is just always been one of my favorites, and her writing, whenever she puts out a new book, there's a good chance it'll be on my favorite of the year. Landline was one of my favorites last year, and Fangirl the year before, so I think it's just going to be a given. Her books are going to be on my top of the year. But this book is just so good, and you're just rooting for Simon and Baz the whole time. The best book I read this year, number 1, by a landslide. Favorite book of the whole year, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And the order, the second book in the series. It's so good. This is a book that defies genre. It is dystopian. It is a historical retelling. It is sci-fi. It is paranormal. It is magical realism. It's so good. This follows a girl named Paige, who is a dream walker. So she can get into people's heads, and she's part of this underground syndicate with crime lords and other people who have clairvoyancy, which is extremely, extremely illegal in this society, and they live in London. And the part that's historical retelling is there's a place in the past when Victoria was Queen of England, and something happens in that point that changes the course of history. The world as we know it never existed, but it's still on Earth. It just, it's so good. It's so good. And this book, it takes a little bit to get into. There was a cat. It takes just a little bit to get into, but then it's just fast-paced, and the second book is just go the whole time. The third book doesn't come out until next November, and I'm dying. I'm so sad about it. But this book is so good, and I'm going to have to reread the two of them before the third one comes out. Oh, I'm so excited for it. This is the best book I read this year by a mile. It's so good. Those are the best books of the year. I was considering doing a most disappointing books of the year because I did read a bunch of craptacular books, but I don't feel like it. I don't have most of them anymore because when I don't like a book, I get rid of it. And I like positive notes. So, Happy New Year, guys. I hope you had a great reading year. Tell me down below what book was your absolute favorite of the year. I want to know. I want to know why, too, and maybe I will find it in the future and read it, too, if you liked it so much. I will see you guys in the new year. Have a good, safe New Year's Eve if you're doing anything. I'm probably just reading. And I will see you guys again. Bye!